This community lost 10 lights when the defendant chose to kill as many people as he could at King Soopers.
Justice for the people killed in the March 2021 mass shooting in Boulder.
Tonight, we remember Nevin Stanisic.
Nevin is not just another statistic of people who have lost their lives in a mass shooting.
Kevin Mahoney.
He was the best dad to my brother and me and a wonderful husband to my mom.
Trelona Barkoya.
Anna was my firstborn child, my daughter, and my best friend.
Ricky Olds.
Ricky was born with a spark of a pure heart, and she was beyond kind.
Denny Stong.
I lost 9 people I knew and worked with that day. The hardest was my son, Denny Stong.
Lynn Murray.
Mom, I'm so grateful to have been and continue to be your daughter.
Terry Liker.
We will go forward with our love for her and cherish the great, happy memories.
Jody Waters.
Her life may have ended that dreaded day, but not her soul.
Suzanne Fountain.
She had an incredible impact on the community and on our family, and it's a true loss for them.
And Officer Eric Talley.
The blood that was on that floor of the grocery store was my blood, because that's my brother.
Tonight, we pay tribute to those loved ones lost as the Boulder Strong community leaves its darkest day behind.
What matters today is that justice has finally been done in this case. And it's just on the criminal case. The victims will forever carry with them the loss. But today we bring what has been a really painful chapter in the criminal court to an end, to its rightful end.
The man who killed 10 people in Boulder King Soopers 3 years ago will spend the rest of his life in prison. Thank you very much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 10 tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter. After less than 8 hours of deliberating, the jury found the shooter guilty of all 55 counts. They rejected the not guilty by reason of insanity plea from the defense, finding the defendant sane when he shot and killed 10 people on March 22nd, 2021.
And the packed courtroom breathed just a collective sigh of relief as that guilty verdict was read on all counts.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon has been in the courtroom since this trial began at the start of this month. And Colette, today was a whirlwind of emotions.
So many emotions, so much anxiety in the courtroom before that verdict was read. You could feel it. Everyone waiting to hear one word, guilty, and then they heard it 55 times. Of course, that doesn't change what happened on that day in 2021, but many of the people I spoke with, they had experienced a wave of relief, and they were a little bit shocked by the sense of closure they felt today.
This is the longest thing I've ever had to wait for an answer on, and now it's here.
A wait, more than 3 years in the making.
As I was driving in here, I was really shaking a lot, feeling rushed. I looked up at the mountains coming into Boulder, and I just thought of my dad, and I heard him say, "Slow down, you're okay. I got you."
Erica Mahoney's dad, Kevin, is one of the 10 people killed in the Boulder King Soopers mass shooting. He was killed while returning his shopping cart.
I prayed and hoped that my dad's final moments were painless, that he was oblivious to it all. However, as the footage portrayed, that was not the case.
She gave her victim impact statement alongside several other loved ones after a jury returned the guilty verdict for the shooter.
He has given us a life sentence, robbing us of family. Why should he get any less?
Olivia McKenzie speaking on behalf of her mom, Lynn Murray, who was murdered while shopping for Instacart.
They were honored, and we were and our pain had been honored too.
Finding strength in numbers throughout the trial and at the press conference following sentencing, where the shooter received 10 consecutive life sentences on top of 1,334 years in prison.
I will never say his name. He took Jody from us.
With this verdict, it ensures that this murderer will pay for his crimes and his heinous, brutal murders for the rest of his life.
I miss him. I miss his laugh, and I wish you'd all known him. Thank you.
With some surprised to feel closure.
I always knew my mom to freeze in face of fear, and I was so proud to learn she fought, she ran, she hid, and she tried to run, and I cannot even picture this woman who hated running, and I know her life was at risk, but I was just so proud to learn that.
Saying this trial has been healing in a way.
Even though it was hard to show up to court, that I was proud to be a voice for my dad and I know he was proud of me, and I'm proud of myself too for hanging on.
Family was also in the courtroom today, sitting directly behind him. They sat through the verdict but left before the sentencing. And as one of the brothers was leaving the courthouse, he did tell our cameras once again a similar thing to what he said on the stand, that his brother is very sick, in his own words. Guys.
And the defense's main argument was that the shooter had severe and untreated schizophrenia that led to the shooting. But Colette, did the defense attorneys ever speak after the verdict?
I did ask them if they wanted to speak as they left the courthouse. They didn't want to comment, but Judge Ingrid Bakke, she was sure to say that the lawyers in this case are some of the best she's ever seen. She made a point to say that it does take a good defense to make the criminal justice system possible. Live in Boulder, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
All right, Colette, thanks for your work throughout this. I know that was so very difficult. And defense attorneys never denied that the defendant shot and killed those 10 people. They wanted the jury to consider the shooter's mental health at the time. Now, their entire case, in fact, stemmed from a claim that he was in the midst of a mental health break and that he should be found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Denver 7's Daniel Kreuter joins us live now. The jury is sending a strong rejection of that claim today.
Yep, guilty on every single count. Here is what the shooter is now convicted of. 10 counts of first-degree murder, 38 counts of attempted murder, 1 charge of assault, and 6 counts of using a large-capacity magazine. After the sentence was handed down, Boulder's district attorney and police chief spoke about the toll this case has taken on their community and the justice served today.
And make no mistake about it, folks, he was planning it since the very beginning of January 2021. He was deliberate, intentional, and brutal in what he did to the people at King Soopers. They were all random victims, completely innocent.
The best way we can show the world that we will not be intimidated by cowards focused on harming our community is to come together, to persevere, and come out stronger and more united while never forgetting those we lost. We must remember that we share far more in common than we share differences.
Now, both went on to say it was an honor to fight for justice for families whose loved ones were killed that day.
Of course, Danielle, when this day started, we didn't know how long, how short this deliberation would be. But boy, it seemed once it got going, it really happened very quickly.
Yeah, you can imagine those families have been waiting years. This day has been a long time coming. And really, the judge didn't waste any time getting straight to the sentencing phase after that guilty verdict came down, which allowed for those victim impact statements we heard earlier. Now, we talked to an attorney who took note of exactly how the judge sentenced the shooter. There is an option to give a sentence for different charges that could have their time served at the same time. That's called a concurrent sentence. Now, that is not what the judge did in this case, handing down multiple consecutive life sentences.
The judge did consecutive here, which means one after another, after another, after another. And there's no way to know what the judge was thinking, but in my opinion, what it sounds like is the judge is giving value to each of those 10 victims' lives. They all matter equally, and they're all worth a life.
It's not clear at this point if the shooter's defense team plans to file an appeal in the case. Now, that attorney we spoke with says an appeal could be possible if the defense decides to challenge not just the verdict or what happened at trial, but also any of the rulings that led up to it.
If the Court of Appeals decides that the trial judge made a mistake, it can fall to a couple different categories. One, they could say, look, this was a harmless mistake. It wouldn't have affected the outcome, so we're not going to overturn the case and send it back to the trial court. Or they could say, look, this was a pretty significant error, and so we think that this has to go back for a whole new trial.
Now, that attorney also told us for such a serious sentence, again, that is 10 consecutive life sentences, he hopes it sends the message that judges in our state will not tolerate this violence.
All right, Danielle,
Thank
you.
you.
Very much.
On the other side of this is the family of the shooter. One of his brothers spoke with the media after the verdict was read.
I feel bad and sorry for the victims, of course. I mean, if I was to put myself in their shoes, I probably would want him dead. Until we realized that he was sick. What is the difference between him and a 2-year-old baby? They don't have the mentality, the capacity over here.
We have extended coverage online from day one of the trial through the verdict and sentence. There's a special section on our homepage, denver7.com.
And these past few weeks have been so very difficult for those in the Boulder community. And the Boulder Strong Resource Center is offering a place of healing and support for those affected by this tragedy. You might remember it was created right after the shooting. And to this day, it offers support for victims and for community members. It's on Baseline Road. It's near US 36. And for immediate mental health support, you can always call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's 988.